warriors, whether Corona is there or not there, are the teachers. Let's look at the cops, the doctors, the nurses, etc. They were always doing their jobs. It's sad that we never recognized them. We never appreciated them. Then we needed something like the Corona tell us, hey, these guys also do their work. And it's making us reflect as to what these guys are actually doing. And we also started looking at the garbage collectors. We started looking at nurses. It's fascinating. So today, I think it's an opportunity for us to start saying, hey, there's one more batch of people out there who are called the teachers.
Right.
And what they are doing is something we have never noticed. Even now, we have not noticed the importance of them. Even now, we're not able to appreciate them. And very interestingly, this week happens to be the Teachers Appreciation Week. I mean, I didn't know where it came from, but I just read about it. So I thought it's something I would share. So before I even introduce the panelists, introduce what the subject is, I want to ask the panelists here. We have 6 of them. Okay? Tell us, ma'am and the sirs, why did you agree to come on this program? We'll begin with our first speaker, Mrs.Lovely Dutta, Prusty, the Vice Principal of DPS Whitefield, Bangalore. Ma'am, tell us, why are you here? And what made you agree to come on this program?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Bala, for actually taking up this topic. And I think everybody's in the limelight at some point of time, but teachers are always at the back end, and nobody really recognizes them. So finally, teachers are in the limelight, and I feel it's high time that we get an opportunity to present our side of the story of the hard work that we are doing. You get to read so many things on Facebook and social media that, parents are just giving home assignments. They're not really actually taking care of the kids. Mothers should be really appreciated. But teachers who are working and giving those home assignments are also mothers. So they're also equally working hard both at the home front and taking care of so many children. Where parents take care of 1 or 2 kids, teachers are taking care of so many children. So I think this is the reason I wanted to be here and share my viewpoints on this topic.
Thank you, ma'am. We got Mrs.Hazra Surve, Principal, MIT World Peace School, Pune, Indore. Ma'am, could you tell us why you are here?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to thank you, a big thank you to Mr. Bala for inviting me. When I read the topic, since the lockdown time, the only thing that I've been listening is about schools, about students, what do students need, what do schools need, what does the management need, salary and fees. This is the first time somebody is really talking about what do the teachers need, because none of us were ready for such a big pandemic happening and how are we going to do it. But somehow or the others, the teachers are the main resources that we have. They are the asset of any organization. And this was the least spoken topic anywhere in the news or on, CBSE talking about students, NCRT talking about students, classrooms, academic, but nobody was talking about teachers. I'm really glad that, because teachers are an asset, they face ground root problems. They are the one who are implementing our objectives, our missions and our visions in the classroom. So this is high time that we really speak about what teachers want. And this is the reason I'm here right now speaking to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for being on the show. Now, next speaker is Ms.Crysantha, Leonard. She got a very interesting designation. It says Mother Teacher Grade 1, HDFC School, Pune. It's quite an interesting way to call a teacher.
Yes, sir. Mother teacher, sir, when I say that, or when we at the HDFC say that, we are the mother teacher of any grade for that matter, it's like the children get...
Could you be a bit louder, ma'am, please?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. So when we talk about saying that we are the mother teachers, so we give the same amount of love and affection, the same amount of care to the children. So it's just like a home away from home, wherein the children are close to us. So that's why we call us as the mother teacher. So when I was asked to come, I thought that this wouldn't be, I just can't say no to it, because I can voice out for my other teachers, be it my school or the other institutions. We all can talk about this, that what exactly we all are feeling. well, work happens and then we all go ahead. But yes, somewhere down the line, even we want to say, you know, what we want to. So that's why I am here.
Thank you, ma'am. We got our fourth speaker, Mrs.Samara Jagwanee, and she's the director of Damara International Pune. I hope I got the name and the
Yes,
school.
yes, that's right. Yeah, so a very good afternoon, and thank you to Nupur, who invited me to come and be a part of this conference. So there is one thing that, you know, we very strongly believe with our education philosophy that we follow at our school also, that collaboration is a very essential key to, you know, achieve long-term goals. And in order to make the journey also meaningful. So currently, whatever situation, you know, given if it's a pandemic at this point, it could be anything else in life later. So I come here not just as myself, but I represent my team of, you know, wonderful facilitators at my organization. And I feel that through this collaborative discussion, we can open our eyes to viewpoints of others. And that in fact helps you in your day-to-day scenarios. Because, you know, if we only keep having discussions with our own teams, with our own heads, with our only, you know, admin, directors, and maybe the teachers, we are just going around in circles. But the minute you speak to someone, especially at times like these where social distancing has to be practiced, this is an amazing way of actually, you know, respectfully knowing what each one's perspective is. And I'm sure that a little giveaway will definitely go back a long way with each one of us, you know, to actually incorporate in our organizations.
Perfect, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Apart from all the educationists, I got two people here, special people here, who are in the field of education, not really in terms of being a teacher or administration, but they are doing a small little bit by trying to innovate things. Okay, so I call them to be the outside viewpoint of what we are talking, so they don't get very emotionally connected to what the teachers or Hoopsters is going to talk about. I have on panel Jagdish Chandra, learning consultant and director, Reflections. Jagdish, are you there?
Yeah, Bala. So should I?
Yeah, please tell me why you're here.
Oh, thanks, Bala. I mean, personally speaking, you know, an opportunity to have an audience of 100 people is something that I myself wouldn't have generated. So personally, I find it very enriching to be conversing with 100 people. That's number one. Secondly, I think this is an age of high intensity collaboration, and what you are bringing forth are educationists, parents, teachers all together. And this high intensity collaboration is something that's very critical of modern age. All industries look at high intensity collaboration, banking, railways, everything. It is high time that education starts looking at this high intensity collaboration amongst all of us. That's number one reason. Second is, look at the topic itself. What do teachers want? This is quite an open-ended question for meaningful exploration, which can be quite accommodative. What does a really teacher want? Probably it is precisely what humanity also wants. I think to explore that conversation itself is an opportunity, and I really bring forth all my eagerness in this conversation, Bala, and that's probably the reason I'm here.
Bala, your mic is off.
Okay. Our final speaker, Ranjana, who is a founder director of Potential Solutions.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to everybody, and thank you, Bala, for inviting me on this platform to speak to the reputed organization representatives and also the teachers who I think are actually also part of, as you said, the COVID warriors at this stage, right? I think I was really moved by your topic. As Jagdish said, what do teachers want? And I don't think, in the pace at which we moved from the classroom sessions to the online sessions for them was pretty fast, right? And I think I was quite, I'm sure it was as overwhelming for them as well as for the students to move in this direction of digital transformation that they would have undergone. So, and I think it is really a great platform to hear from all of them, also to understand what they really need and what are the challenges they are facing, for us to start driving and working towards that, because I truly believe that they are COVID warriors.
Thanks. Thanks. I want to actually invite a special guest, Joel, okay, who is part of the Potencia Solutions team. Sorry, Joel, I didn't really ask you your exact designations, but I don't think that really matters right now, because I'm so glad you're on the show.
Thank you.
So I want to know why you're on the show.
Right. So, Anjana, dear friend of mine, we work together. So I'm a psychologist, basically, and my interest in learning and how that learning. My interest. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that fine? Right. So I'm a psychologist, and learning is part of my theory, my theoretical interest. And what started as an academic interest for me, soon, as part of my research for PhD, soon went into an entirely new dimension, where 7 years later, now we have developed frameworks, hybrids of learning theories, and which, if you see the benefit side of it, of course, the ultimate beneficiary is always the student, but we go through the teachers, right, when it comes to learning. And we created these programs and add-ons to teachers that can first, like something that addresses your main title, what do teachers want? First, we take the workload off them to about 30 to 40% using specific processes and methods that takes off the load. Number two, a person who's having lesser load obviously has the ability to learn more and the time. So our processes are kind of open, flexible, and we want to bring that to the notice today.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks for coming in. Okay, these are our 7 speakers who will be addressing issues over the next 1 hour. But it's nice to see 100 participants. That means we have got a 5th houseful show, of all the events that Hoopsters is doing. So we got 100 online right now on Zoom, and possibly some more watching us on Facebook and other social media. And I want to tell all the participants that you are as much a speaker in this show than our invited guests are. So please do feel to express your opinions. Please do feel free to, tell us what you want, what you feel, because what's very interesting is most of you seem to be a teacher-parent combination. So you can talk from both the angles of being a teacher and a parent. And I'm sure you can really understand where we are coming from. And unless we all collaborate, unless we all work towards it, we are not going to find solutions. And let me tell you one thing, when Hoopster works on something, we are not just here to talk for the 1 hour. It's not about the webinars that are important to us. It is what comes from the webinar. And I think the 100 of us plus the 6 speakers or 7 speakers that we have, I think we could possibly be the first batch of change catalysts. And in whatever small way, I think we should really work even post this event to connect with each other and see what are those small little differences that we can bring in our personal lives and in our lives as our profession. So anyway, here we start. Let me tell you where it all began. Okay? I am a filmmaker, and I specialize, my personal interest is are documentaries. And within the documentaries, my expertise is in mental health. Okay? So through my journey as a filmmaker, I noticed the exact situation that exists on ground, because I was very fortunate to meet not only the experts in business, in the professions, but I also interacted with a lot of people on ground, ordinary common people who felt it very comfortable to share their issues, share the stories with me. So Hoopster is an evolution from there. So what we want to do in everything we are addressing is find solutions, is find people who are open-minded, who are willing to collaborate, who have a bigger vision, within their small little structures. So all I'm doing is, out of 100 odd participants we've got and the 6-7 panelists that we've got, can we get together and make a difference? And that is critical. We have built a solid back-end platform. So we have built the platform. So there's no excuses of saying we cannot do it or could not do it. We are the best of experts on board, whether it's mental health or educationists or technicians, you name it, whether it's soft skill training, art training. And we have all designed our programs in such a way that it's a total solution. Okay, and we are what we call an umbrella of sorts for anything to do with children, parents, and schools. Having said that, I used to run a children's magazine called Hoopla Club. And that was, I think, the most exciting part of my journey in life. We ran for almost 7 years, and the experience we had with teachers and children was fabulous. But in the whole journey, the reason why today I'm asking a question, what teachers want, is one, yes, nobody seems to bother to ask the question. Everybody seems to have a solution for what the teacher wants, without ever having asked the teacher what is it she wants or he wants. And when I was talking to teachers, I found teachers want 3 simple, basic things, which was a priority in their list. You know what the 3 things were? All they wanted was appreciation, acknowledgement, and respect. So I want to begin this talk or this conversation by saying, why are teachers asking for something as basic as this? Where have we gone wrong? Hazra ma'am, you're on screen, so can we start with you? Yes. Where has the respect, appreciation, and acknowledgement of a teacher gone? And why?
It's a very sad question, actually, because being a teacher in a school, I have taught in schools, and we find happiness when we complete the objective in the classrooms, when students are able to answer, when they raise their hands and ask questions to us. But I think if I can be really honest about it, it's been the whole political kind of a scenario in the school management right now also, where more than a teacher's skills or competencies, we're looking out for something else that the teacher can get in the classrooms. Right now also, when there is a lot of online teaching going on, as I said in the first line, that why am I here? Because we do not really acknowledge the teacher in the school who is helping us to get the objective done in the classroom or achieve the targets of the school. We are just praising the school left, right, center, but why is the school good? Why is the academics good? Who is in the classroom who is doing these things? So if we have a small little note also given to a teacher at the end of the day, thank you. Why do we feel, why do I as a human being, as a teacher, feel so happy when I receive a note, thank you, from a student? It's because somebody is acknowledging me for my work. And this is not only for teachers, this is a basic human nature. I feel that everybody, like even as a mother, when I cook a dish, and if everybody is just eating it and nobody says that it's really nice, I look forward to listen to that thank you from at least from my son who is eating that dish. So as a teacher, basically, I think that being the senior management people, they should concentrate or maybe focus on more on getting these human interaction value in the school increase. The happiness quotient from the school will come when the teacher's happiness is looked into, which is not being done right now. We are more into getting a lot of schools are cropping up around the country. And what we are looking at is the number of admissions. But are we looking at the mental health of the teacher? Are we really looking at what is the background she's coming at? First of all, being a professional, we should look at where is she coming up? What is she doing? And what are the things that she's going back home and doing? So getting that family environment in the school, getting that team, not only the professional side, but also the personal side. Getting to know your teachers are very important. And once you get to know the teacher and the kind of work that she is in the classroom, and then telling her that your work is commendable, will really get her to feel that she's acknowledged. That will give her the motivation to come next day in the classroom and face the students there. Because parents are getting to know how difficult it is to handle the child at home for at least 2 to 3 hours online session where the teacher is taking care of the entire bunch and everybody has a different question. All the students are unique in the classrooms. My one lesson plan will help me reach to a conclusion at the end of the period, but my students are different. And the same lesson goes on for a whole week where I'm answering the same type of question in a different manner to different students. So I think as a school management people, they should more focus on the mental health, the personal issues of teachers also. It can be anything. It can be monetary, it can be family, it can be society, it can be anything. But if we consider the human side, because right now the internet is bombarded with content. What are we teaching in the school? Our values, human interaction, and skills and competencies is what we are doing in the school right now. So the person who is delivering all these things in the school has to be acknowledged. And if it is done in the form of a team, if it is done in the form of recognizing the person as a real special member in the school, I think this matter can be resolved at some level.
Thank you, ma'am. Crysantha, ma'am, you're next.
Yes, sir.
Tell us where has it gone wrong?
Well, sir, what I would say is now children have been exposed to so much of information, outside, even at home. Somewhere down the line, the values are no more there with the children now. And what happens is, like, even if we as teachers try to discipline them, in class, once they go home by taking some negative thing, and even we would try hard to make the child understand, or maybe give them some stars or whatever to make them understand, or try to make them also understand that, see, what you're doing is wrong. Try to understand what we are trying to tell you. But then when the child goes home and when the child says things to the parents, and the way the parents react to the child is when everything goes wrong. Then there are complaints, and then they start comparing, and I think this is what happens actually. At the same time, if we talk about ourselves, when we used to go back home and say that this is what the teacher had said, to me, mom, so my mother would say that, look, first you see what you've done wrong. So she is trying to help you so that you could be good. But now things are changing. I wouldn't say that all parents are doing that, but somewhere down the line, most of them are. So this is why.
Thanks, Susan. Thank you. Samara ma'am, what's your opinion on this? Where are we going wrong? We're talking about the basics.
Yeah. So, I do understand that there are certain things, like you shared, that in the light of all these things happening, suddenly the teacher has disappeared, and as Hazra shared that, there's so much going on about what is going on, what new programs are being launched. There are new websites coming up, new softwares. So firstly, I would say that it's not that every single organization has not acknowledged it. But yes, every single organization has faced a sudden panic kind of a situation, when all this suddenly happened. Because it started towards, the end of the year, when exams were about to happen at a lot of places. Children had to, complete important milestones of a 10th standard, or maybe completing primary and moving to secondary. At the same time, the whole lockdown situation came up, like, oh my God, suddenly we felt like it was a war-like situation. So I believe that because there was so much going on around, but as I say, thank God that, there are educators out there, there are institutions, there are organizations, and there are human beings out there who actually, have kind of set a reset button to themselves. And we have all started trying to become better human beings, versus becoming a better director, a better teacher, or a better principal. So this whole reset situation has now let all this mud settle down. So yes, initially I do agree, as all schools, we all got hyper that, okay, now even they are going online, they are also going online. Oh, what about our online program? What about this? What about that? So, at that point, I personally started sensing when I was talking to my team that, they were lost, like, ma'am, what is this online thing? Okay, we understand we go on a platform, but how do we connect to 2-year-old babies? Like, in our case, we're doing a earlier setup. So yes, that's the moment I think that, our conscience was in place, and we kind of said, no, let's calm down, let's slow down. This is not a race to catch up with other schools, that if A is doing online, I have to do online, if B is doing this. So yes, initially there was a panic situation, but now it's good that, all of us are getting conscious about these things. And I feel that now, as I said, collaborating constantly with like-minded people will help us again and again come back on track. Maybe suddenly again school owners, maybe leaders, who are leading organizations with other stresses like salaries, like, rents and different things going on. It can happen that again you lose your ground and you go crazy that, okay, now how are we going to manage it? But things like that is what will pull us back and keep us all in sync, that no, we need to maintain the harmony, and they are the face of our school. So we have to take care of them.
That's interesting. That's interesting way of looking at things. Mrs.Lovely, Dutta?
Yes.
I mean, we had Samara ma'am talking about the lockdown situation. But what I was talking about in terms of the respect, appreciation, and acknowledgement was existing even before the lockdown. It's been happening, I would say, for the last 5 years or 10 years. And that's a scenario where the way teachers learn, the students look at teachers or the parents look at teachers, this was the issue. So where are we going wrong?
I would like to, I completely agree with what Hazra had said, okay, about appreciating the teachers for the work that they've done. And because that feeling of not being appreciated for what we do comes from the lack of respect that parents have for teachers. And I think this is something because more and more people are, both parents, set of parents go for work, and they don't have time to look at the kids. So the mentality here is better deliver, is that customer and client kind of a relationship where they don't look at teachers like they're the gurus and they know everything. And because you are living in an era where information, there's an overload of information. So parents also get information from the net, children get information from the net. So they feel that the teachers they really don't require a teacher. Like in our times, if anything would happen, if I would have to come home and tell my mother that my teacher had said something to me like this, she would have first blasted me and asked me, what did you do? But it's just the opposite case now. Parents are also losing track of their parenting skills. They are bubble wrapping their kids. So if a teacher has to say anything little harsh, maybe not out of bad intent, but something that because she cares for the child, but that is misrepresented in the home front. And so I feel there's an undercurrent of mistrust between teachers and parents. And that is one of the reasons why many parents lose trust in their teachers, and teachers really feel this because they feel that whatever they do for the child is not enough. And when they get complaints from parents like that, and for at the drop of a hat, parents complain, they send mails. So teachers really feel undermined, they feel demoralized. And I think that is a very big issue that we should all look at. And this is happening probably in the past a decade or so. I don't remember it happening in my time, but I've been in this profession for almost 20 years. And this is happening for the past 10 years. I've noticed that this trend of not trusting the teacher, coming and telling her, whatever they feel like is happening. And this is also because of the consumerist mindset that, your salary comes from the money that I pay to the school. So you better treat my child as special and not as one among a class of children. So if the teacher makes a slight mistake, also it gets highlighted.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think talking to the four of you, I think four very serious, clear points come out. Jagdish, I want you on board here. You have seen a lot of schools. You have interacted with a lot of management and the principals and teachers. What is your take on why aren't the teachers getting the due respect, appreciation, and acknowledgement?
Thanks, Mala. I mean, the need for social acknowledgement and the need for being appreciated is something that doesn't limit itself to the teachers. I think every human being wants appreciation. I think it actually boils down to three very important questions here. Number one is everybody looks at social success. Probably we need to start looking at what we mean by social success for ourselves. When do we feel successful? So this is an important question for us. When does a teacher really feel successful in whatever the teacher is doing? That's number one. The second is success is such a relative term. Probably the second thing that is about personal excellence. Personal excellence is how do I keep on improving whatever I have been doing? How do I keep on excelling? Which is about creating a worldview where you can accommodate everything, the whole life into the curriculum that you are teaching. Personally, I remember talking to you today in the conversation. In one of the programs I conduct called as Teaching the Millennium, one of the things I look at is how do you bring a millennium worth of experience into the teaching classroom, whether you are teaching quadratic equations or trigonometry or Wordsworth or acid bases and salts or reproduction. So this very important aspect of growing into personal excellence is the second important thing. Now, social skills or social success and personal excellence has to be linked. Me being personally excellent all the time isn't enough. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be recognized as somebody worthwhile. How does these two get connected? This gets connected by the third one, thinking. Let us start looking at what are the critical areas that I need to look at. Critical thinking, for instance, creativity, and all these things really matter. Probably we probably have to start distinguishing what is real learning what is non-real learning, or what is innate learning, what is non-innate, and things like that. I mean, the word appreciation is quite fickle. I mean, I can't depend on the public to keep on appreciating all the time. It is quite fickle-minded, the award systems, the appreciations and all. They have their own role, but more importantly, it is about developing an extraordinary self-esteem amongst ourselves with these three things. Looking for what really matters in society now that generates social success, generating an amount of personal excellence that I keep on creating breakthrough performance again and again. I don't limit myself to one performance. Third one is that how do I develop extraordinary thinking skills so that I can link what is required for society to who I am as a human being. Probably this is the way I would look at it. Yeah, Bala.
That's very interesting. So you are putting the onus onto the teacher here, which is fair enough, which is one way of looking at it, which is exactly what it should be. Because, this brings me a question as to, suddenly out of nowhere, people are talking about teachers training programs. Yeah. It's the biggest buzzword today, I mean, possibly because it's of Corona led people to stay at home. So we got to find a new way of teaching. Now, we have been doing training. We have been training teachers all these years. It's not a new story. So I would ask the teachers here, starting with lovely ma'am, as to what did all the training you had over the years, how come they never really came handy when the situation actually demanded it? Lovely ma'am,
yeah, like Samara said, it created a panic situation, right? We have been training our teachers, but so far we've been training them to handle children in a concrete classroom, right? So this online thing was something very new. We never had that. In fact, I was just telling somebody that, there was a time we used to always wish, I wish I could be at home and to take my class when I'm not feeling well. I don't want to miss the class also because I know I have to finish that syllabus. That's at the back of my mind. But we never had the facility, and we always envied the IT people who could take 1 day or 2 days off and work from home. So our training was definitely there. It was definitely a different kind of training, where we were teaching teachers how to conduct group work, group study, pair work, all that kind of thing. But suddenly now it has become online. And for many teachers, it takes time to be a little tech savvy. We do, all our teachers are definitely trained technically, but the computer doesn't occupy so much of their life as the books and the other things. So yeah, only when they want information.
I buy your point. We all talk about, Hazra ma'am, this question is for you.
Teachers have settled down very fast, I think. I'm sorry to interrupt, but teachers have settled down very fast.
Ma'am, you're one of the elite schools, so you're certainly you have more exposure compared to the other 80% of schools out there who are really struggling.
Exactly.
Hazra ma'am, I've got a question for you. We keep talking about preparing the children for the future. Okay? Why aren't the teachers being prepared for the future? Shouldn't the teachers have known technology by now? Shouldn't they have been prepared for online classes? Because online is not something which just appeared yesterday. It's been in existence for the last, 12 years now? And in the last 5 years, it's been the norm. So in the training programs, why weren't the teachers being prepared for the future? Hazra ma'am, all yours. Hello? Hazra, can you hear me? Is there?
Don't see her.
Here on the screen, Bala.
Okay. Samara ma'am, you can go ahead with it.
So what I would like to say is that
I think about this training all the time and prepare the for the future. Why aren't you ready for this?
See, let's put it that way. It is taking that slight paradigm shift. It's not that they're not aware. Yeah, Hazra's back, so I could just share mine, and then she could come back.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So see, the main thing is that even as let me just speak about the situation, about parents, about children, about all of us who are working, and specifically teachers. That all of us have had to make a slight paradigm shift. We were using computers even at our school. Similarly, teachers are also using technology every single day, their ERPs, maybe the curriculum and everything comes on that. But I'll give a small example here. So maybe the teachers also who are listening could, probably relate to this is, the apparatus or the tools that you normally have in your classroom. Now one is having to maybe, deliver that to a child without giving the 5 sensorial experience. Because children normally, they will, okay, listen to the teacher, then they'll probably be given some manipulators or some, kind of things to explore, maybe to read, maybe to sit and discuss. So through these different 5 senses that they explore, then the learning happens. So the teachers are having to, I wouldn't say they're not trained, but yes, they need a lot of now, I would say, moving on and having a little paradigm shift, that in your own homes also, you do have whatever resources you have, learning can go on. Like, it is how you think. Today, if I feel I only need an abacus to, show children how to count 1 to 10, then that is where I have to now, as we keep telling children, have the learning attribute of being open-minded. So it is just that, the ingredients are already in them, but we need to shake the bottle a little so that let the actual right ingredients surface on the top. So yes, that paradigm shift, for that reason, I feel trainings are important, which are now focusing more on that aspect. Rather than telling them what to teach in content, it is more about how to connect with the child on an online platform. I feel that.
Thank you. Crysantha ma'am, I would like to have you, as a teacher, what do you think is missing in these trainings? Very honestly.
Sir, I would say there's very less of time actually, because now, as I would say that we've been learning almost 3 apps simultaneously to give the best, because eventually it's a student what we are working towards. And we as teachers want to give them the best. So we try to, learn different apps so that eventually they learn what we want to, in a right manner, whether they're able to understand, whether, if there are any doubts, we could, make it that clear, with an app, because the problem is over here that, there's a screen here. We can't even, give a small pat at the back if the child is, doing extremely good. And so it's just an online thing wherein we as a school, I would say, as teachers or coordinators, we are trying to learn everything now at this point in time. If I may say, we are like, dealing with 3 apps at the same, simultaneously, that which would be the app which will suit our students the best. So, and we are really working very hard, and I know there might be many teachers around who are, really taking this as positively, because eventually the denial comes in a mind. Any individual, not just me as a teacher and anybody. Oh, you have to go online. So the first thing comes is, oh no, this is not going to happen. I can't do it because I'm not that tech savvy. Though whether I'll be using Word or making a PowerPoint presentation, I know that much. But now it's that, like, you've got your parents at home, you've got to get the children out of the comfort zone. So there's a lot of, and that's the reason, sir, every day we are experimenting to do the best for our children.
Thank you.
If I may just add one,
sure.
small thing here, is that what a lot of my teachers also shared, initially, they said, when we are planning the curriculum or we are planning the lesson plan, we sit, in a group, maybe 1 or 2 teachers sit together. So, then one brings on the creative side, one brings on the content side, and then maybe the third one who's good with the technical side. So they kind of bring that together. The lesson plans which are produced in a classroom is the output of, 2 or 3 individuals, different mindsets with creativity. Okay, you're good with rhymes. Okay, you're good with, delivering this activity. So yes, it took them a little time, which again, as I said, with constant talking, with counseling, with orienting, rather than telling them what to teach, but how to go about it. It's okay, you're alone, chalo, let's speak, let's talk about it. So I think that was that initial hitch, which also a lot of my teachers said that, ma'am, we are not used to sitting alone and doing this. It's always about bringing creativity together on a plate and then presenting, what we have to give to the children.
That's interesting. I would like to bring Ranjana in the picture here because she comes from a corporate background. Okay, I think she worked for Cisco. And, corporate guys, all they do is presentations. All they do is work from home. Okay. And I think they're quite experts in talking to the computer, and they're happier when the other person is not in front of them. Okay, so I want to bring Ranjana here to say, okay, I'm sure this is what the teachers will, in the panel and as my participants will like. I want to ask Ranjana one question. When she joined the IT sector and she had to do these presentations online, okay, what were the problems that she faced and how did she cope with it? Because I think the situation is very similar. It is just that it's corporate and you are teachers. Okay, so Ranjana, could you come online and talk about your initial days of experimenting with online chat?
Yeah, sure. I think.
I mean, tell me your stories of what happened the first day you walked in and you're supposed to do a presentation.
Yeah, I think, life with the corporate or with the schools, the teachers is not so very different. But I think we are a little more tech savvy than them because they are more, I don't think we have the knowledge like they have and the content and they have some expertise. But yeah, I think I remember when we, did the presentation and every meeting had to be a presentation and it used to be a back-to-back meeting and a presentation. And when we started, it used to be, doing presentations, in the conference rooms using, the projectors and so on and so forth. But then we learned that what are the small things that we need to do that. And then we started doing, and then it moved on to the digital space when we had to use the presentation in the, in the video format, right? And then we learned those tricks too. But yeah, it took some time for us because we had to have that, an ambience around it and how we have to do it and all that. And then I remember, I think it'll be an interesting story to share when we did the presentation once on the digital platform that I had to do a presentation and I had to actually take an approval and also give a core message to the corporate team which was sitting in the US. And I did all my, I did my initial work on, doing the practice, ensuring the content is there, check the audience, all that was done. And I had to definitely give a core message through a video link. And I checked my link on the video browser. It worked well. I kind of put it off in the presentation. In the last minute, they said, put it in the presentation. I put it in the presentation as a link. I was through my presentation. Halfway through, I was trying to click the link. It never opened. So, it was such a mishap, but I said it's fine because at the back of your mind you're saying you're quite overwhelmed with the time because want your approval, you're moving forward, but you kind of have this challenges too. But then as the years pass, you kind of know that you have to have a backup. The video went off the screen and then you had to just talk through it. So you come across these challenges as we go, and I heard the institutional leaders here say that, teachers are having some challenges around this. Yeah, it's true. You will have the challenges, but we are not used to that. And I think some training, some comfort zones given to them will actually get them onto speed into these and, face into this world of digital, how to give the presentations, get them into those comfort zones, give them some training around it. And I'm sure they'll come out of it because and even from the corporate world, though we are quite used to all this technology, we do come across some of these things and we move forward. But I think the trainings will help the teachers, as I heard from the panel here. I think some of the trainings on soft skills could be so different when you're doing a presentation in the room, and soft skills could be so different when you're doing a digital presentation, online presentation for your students, because you'll have to, keep in mind so many other aspects, because now in an online presentation, you have the parent also sitting in the classroom, which, you may or may not know because they're not in front of you, but how do you handle that? Give them some, parenting skills, parenting workshops to ensure that they don't intervene into the classroom sessions that you have. How does the teacher present herself?
Sorry to cut you halfway through. And, give me 3 tips from your corporate world, which can help the teachers who are going online working from home. I'm sure you worked at home, from home too, lots of times.
Yeah.
So basic tips.
Yeah, I think first of all, the soft skills, and I was just talking of soft skills for online presentation, and that is a very important aspect for, how do you do presentations online? That's a major aspect because that will cover all of it for you, because then only the online, how to successfully present in an online, the student format is one thing, and how do they do the student assessments and the tools that they have to use. And how do they navigate on the tools is one thing, is the second thing I would say. And of course, the processes, there are so many different processes that we can actually resource the teachers with, so that you increase the student engagement and have the holistic development of the child and increase the learning experiences too.
Any hacks for them to understand?
It
Like
was
how to face the camera, how to look. I'm sure they're being trained by that.
Those, yeah, I think those are the soft skills I was talking about for online presentations, which I think they will definitely need, because you give them a little of a training around it. I'm sure they'll be experts in that too. As much
So
as
I'd
they're
ask you
experts
3
in
tips
that.
quickly. 3 tips how to present yourself.
Yeah, be on time. Just think that you're in the classroom and be on time there, because that is one thing. And be aware of the cameras and your content. Ensure that your content and the design of the content is ready for you to present. And be aware of the tools that you need to use, because when you're doing an assessment at the end of it, you'll have to ensure that you're using the right tools to get the assessments done. So in any presentation, you have 3, right? The introduction, the content, and the conclusion. Keep it in the same format when you're doing the online presentation.
Thank you. You know, we got one of the participants write to us saying parents are unable to take any criticism, even if it's constructive. I mean, that's the issue which most of the teachers face. So, Lovely ma'am, what do you think? What is your solution to that?
Yes, more than I would like to just give a background to this. I feel, you know, parents today feel, we all feel our children are special, and they have a very myopic vision sometimes. They really believe everything that children say, but they don't realize that children also have 2 faces, one in the school and one at home. It's true for every human being. You know, the way I present myself to my class may not be the way I present myself to my family. So, in the school, the children behave in a particular manner, but when they go back home, probably they're scared to tell the parents the real truth. And it's a very normal thing for children. And so they make up a story and present it in such a way that parents really take it in the wrong way. So there have been number of times when parents have come to me complaining against a teacher for a very small thing. And when I get the background, because I already know, you know, that, okay, this has happened. So in front of the parents, when I call the child and ask them, okay, tell me the truth, exactly what had happened. And then we realize that, you know, there are 2 ways to look at a thing. And then parents also realize, you know, so it's only, like I said before, there's that undercurrent of, you know, mistrust against the teachers. You know, that my child is being ill-treated by the teachers, that should be removed. So I feel teachers really need a respectful and trusting relationship with parents. They look forward to that, I feel. I think Samara wants to say something. She's raised her hand.
Yeah, Samara.
Yeah,
All
so,
yours.
you know, if I just, you know, understood correctly, were you trying to say that, you know, how such a situation should be handled when parents are being very critical? Is that what you were trying to ask us?
If I bring it back to the story of what teachers want, I think what a teacher is trying to tell here is, I want less of interference from the parents. I think that's what they want, because again, that's a very big issue. Most of the people I talk to, they feel their hands are bound because of teachers. And the media is not helping with the whole story anyway. And the threats by the parents. I have actually been witness to these things. So when I'm putting this forward, I have seen parents threaten the school. I have seen parents actually upload stuff on social media. You know, I have seen people threaten that. I've seen it, and I've seen the way parents behaving with the principals. You know, I've seen some shocking stories here. But I'm not going to come to my stories.
Lovely ma'am, you have something to add? Lovely ma'am has something to say.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is, this is an issue which parents want. They want less of interference by the parents. So how do we sort that out?
Yeah.
Here.
So how do we sort the issue out of parents being so interfering?
Okay, so, you know, there is
I didn't get it, get the question. There's some tech.
Can you hear me, Lovely ma'am? Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, go ahead,
I think, yeah, she's. So see, what I feel over here is.
I didn't get the question.
Yeah.
We lost you. Okay. No, what I'm trying to say
is not very clear.
There is a participant here who's a teacher who wants less interference from the parents. So what's the answer to that? And that's a big issue. Pardon?
Can you just repeat that once again? I'm sorry, because it just conked off.
Okay.
I think I'm back live now.
You're back live. The teacher in the audience wants to know Now, one says his problem is basically parents interfere too much. Okay, and they're not open to any criticism.
Again, you've stopped. That little bit where you're saying something just gets stopped. I don't know why.
Maybe the network.
No, I just...
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Is there somewhere where you can type in?
Yeah, she...
Hello?
Yes, you can answer it by then.
Yeah, so, you know, what I feel here is very important, that because of the times that we are in today, it is an innate nature where parents, they actually, you know, kind of want to let go, but at the same time, they really feel that they want to know everything. You know, that sudden guilt arises that, am I not paying enough attention? And then, as you said, they sometimes interfere more. So a solution to this, and this is something which teachers can also do, and even organizations can do, and what even we have tried and tested, you know, we have regular coffee meets with our parents, where on a regular basis, they are invited to the school in small groups, not like a seminar or a workshop, but where there is more of a one-on-one interaction, and they are made to feel a part of the extended school community. So that is why the more often these things happen, then when a parent walks in a school, or teachers and all will not suddenly feel so conscious that, oh my God, you know, we are being judged and they've just come in, so we have to be on our best behavior. No. So because if your philosophy, if your way of teaching, if you involve parents time and again, and yes, in a proper manner, in a professional manner, where the parents are involved to a large extent, you know, inviting them on small occasions of, you know, coming to maybe share experiences on special days, or if you're doing something about professional, so you call them at that time. So what I mean is that it can't only be school and child, because ultimately the parent is the one who's the decision maker to enroll the child in the school. So yes, parents come with that approach where they feel that, oh, bas, I've paid my fees and now, you know, my child is important to the school. Yes. But in order to, again, bring the parents on the same level, regular meets with parents, regular interaction on a non-formal platform is a very, very good solution to get this. Then I've seen the faith and the trust of the parents really grows, and constant communication. I always see that as a great bridge. And then parents stop becoming suspicious. They stop asking unnecessary, silly questions. And then you actually feel that, yeah, you know, we are working on the same plane where you and me both are worried and concerned about your child.
Thank you. Do the other panelists agree to this? Are they following similar stories here? Sure, go ahead.
There's only one point I would like to add, that parents, sometimes we term them as helicopter parents. Right now we are talking about in the community where we have the teachers also, we have the parents also. And at some times you really need to call a spade a spade. Parents will walk in, but at that point what happens is, when there are some sensitive issues, that needs to be handled in a very different manner. But when they start you know, traumatizing a teacher with different kind of questions that they have, what we do is we do not allow the teacher to come in front at that time. We need to speak to the parent first, understand if the teacher has done. At this point, I would like to clear that the teachers need to have that kind of confidence that my principal or my vice principal or my coordinators are standing with me. We are not going to blame the teacher left, right, center at that point, because maybe the worry or maybe the issue that the parent has spoken about will be really different. The context is really different, which we need to understand at our level. Speak to the teacher confidentially and privately. She should be in so much confidence as she speaks to us, because as a teacher in today's world, I might not send my daughter to a nearby house even for 2 hours, but I'm sending my child to a school who's going to take care of the child for the next 6 to 8 hours. So I need to have that confidence in them first. If there is some issues, we as an admin team are available to answer your question anytime. But coming from an academic point of view, where the teacher is actually taking care of the child in the classroom, we need to speak to the teacher first on a very human ground, understand the context, understand the issue, and whether they have been contemplating the question or the problem the way the parents are. And then we need to speak to the parents. This will give confidence to the teacher. Yes, my management or my principal or my coordinators are with me, and this is what the problem is. Sometimes the problem might not be the way it has been portrayed by the parents. So what do? We lose confidence of our teachers. They don't want to work with us anymore. They try to, they try to ignore us. They don't feel that I have that space where I can just walk in. Today, we have a very we have a very open door policy in my school. Today, I don't close the doors in the cabin that I sit. Why? Because my teachers can walk in at any point of time. They don't really need an appointment, but a parent really needs to take a time and come and meet me because I need to sit with them for one-to-one interaction. Just because I've given that faith to the teachers that you can come and speak to me at any given point of time. So before the child goes and they feel that this is going to be problematic, they come and speak to me. So I somewhere are ready. So as a school also, we cannot say everything yes to a parent. We need to really put up boundaries and parameters.
Yeah, but what's the confidence that the teachers in the participant group, what do you want them to do when things are going bad? How do you want, and are managements really open today? Aren't they scared of losing the parent?
No, I don't think so. Management are, no, to be very honest, management are not open to this. But it is a critical role over here of a principal or the coordinator, the vice principal, to take up ownership of those issues also. Because just as a leader, you cannot take the praises. When something happens in the classroom, you are also responsible, equal responsible as a teacher. So the teacher should be having that confidence to come and speak to you before the child goes home also if she feels that this is going to create problem, because these days we know the parent also one-to-one, the teacher knows the parent one-to-one, so they know this can create an issue. So they can, and if there is some real issue, then they have to come and speak to us, and then we will be more prepared to face the parents rather than the parents calling up and telling us something about it.
Do you train your, Samara, do you train your teachers to come and talk to you about issues?
Yes. So, you know what, I would say we kind of work towards two things. One is, of course, trainings are given on, we have a process of if suppose something happens, they know that, okay, what is the code of conduct, who has to be spoken with first, and then who will interact with the parents. But sometimes, there are situations where it's the eye of the situation and the teacher at that moment cannot go to her principal also, or maybe to her coordinator, and maybe she's standing at the time of maybe when the children are leaving, and sometimes there are situations where parents do come and they can't expect that they'll have that time also to run and go and first speak to the principal and speak to their management. So there is a very simple technique which we have very successfully adopted in our team, and if it could be helpful, why I'm giving a tip is because I know there are a lot of teachers who are listening. So, and even all of us, like I feel this works beautifully at every level. The 3 F's as they call it, the feel, felt and found. Okay, so in any situation, even if it is something that has enraged the other person, rather than getting into a conflict, I feel it's always better to first just genuinely be empathetic. Maybe the parent is 100% wrong, yet on the part of the teacher, because see, tomorrow again she has to face that same teacher and the same face the same parent and the same child. So we don't want that situation to become awkward, because every day the teacher is the one who's going to be on the front. So the first thing I feel which really gets parents down is they need to feel that you have felt what they are saying. So, okay, ma'am, I feel, or Mrs. So-and-so, I completely understand how you feel, and if I was in your place, I too would have felt in the same manner. That really brings a person down into their calm state of mind that, okay, now we are having a respectful conversation. I'm not trying to put the teacher down, but I have to, because she also now is on the same level. And then this is what I found out. I mean, I've just seen it works magically in any situation, that you just first be empathetic, let the person know how you feel, and then felt, and then this is what I found out. So that is how that person or the parent in that given situation starts having an open mind to listen to what the teacher has to say. So that way, teachers, you all can empower yourselves. All of you who are listening, and all of us are teachers. We're not just heads or admins, but we are all teachers also in our own right, every single day when we teach our organization. So I would say that this principle should stay strong with you, that you can definitely handle the situations confidently, and with the backup and with the confidence by all our managements given to our teachers can and should be able to handle the situation confidently there.
Thank you. That sounded nice. Jagdish, you got something to bring in here?
Yeah, I will bring in quickly. I think it's already 5:34. I don't know how long the teachers can wait. I will be as fast as possible. I understand both Hazra's and Samara's administrative status dilemma of handling parents. I would just bring in quickly a case study of something that I did. I actually consulted with the school, wanted to do an experimental model of schooling, which depended on 5 things. Out of that, one was about schooling as a community learning initiative. Now, I'll just give one example as to how this community initiative was brought in order to bring in the parents into the whole conversation of schooling itself. Bringing the whole community itself into learning process was very critical there. Now, I'll just give you this example. In grade 7, there is a topic called as asexual reproduction in CBSE syllabus. I don't know whether it still exists, but it is around a decade ago. And I remember this topic used to be existing called as asexual reproduction. Now, one of the things I did during that asexual reproduction was I went to the classroom. I was a participative trainer for the teachers there as a trainer of science there. I do others also, but in that particular case, it was training, teaching of science in the classroom itself. So during that time, what happened was I realized in that asexual reproduction, I am not an expert. Best would be to take the children to the closest nursery possible, and children observe there the Mali there exhibiting how actually they do grafting, budding, and whatever asexual methods of reproduction are. Immediately after that visit, they also went to a veterinary hospital to see how actually reproduction takes place, even in the animals. It was not part of the syllabus, but I wanted to extend it beyond what the syllabus conveyed. So when the children came back, all that I wanted was them to narrate back whatever they had discovered in the field trip. But I understood that children had discovered far more than what I really wanted them to do. For instance, they knew the gestation period of an elephant is 18 months. They knew the gestation period of a camel. They knew what is the gestation period of a rabbit. They knew the economic value of a rose, the seasonal value of flowers. When does it become really valuable? They knew the real ways in which grafting or budding could happen, everything. When they came back, when this discussion happened, this whole conversation on asexual reproduction took around 4 to 5 classes. And this was 7th standard children who were about to enter their teenage. I found this also as an opportunity to really engage them with very sensitive conversation on sexuality itself. For that, I had to involve parents in order to communicate to them about the aspect of sexuality. I will be dealing with sexuality itself, not sex education, sexuality itself. I had to take them into confidence because this school was located in a provincial town, not a city like Bangalore, where I am located right now, but in a small town in Madhya Pradesh. And that is where I had to take the parents into confidence in order to make it very relevant for the children. So here there were 2 things. Number one, how do I add value to the lives of children? How do I make children, parents see far beyond what the syllabus is required to see there? And as we went ahead, we also explored the sociology of sexuality itself. To just give you an example, look at all the abusive words that we find in any language. It could be Hindi, it could be my language, Kannada, it could be anything. Somewhere it refers to the genital of particular gender. We looked at that and the sensitivity of it, and we started looking at it. I went on doing all these things with the parents also, told them how I'm going to do about it, and also took them into confidence. During the whole process, what I saw was that I had the science teacher also, so that the science teacher also gets mentored in the process of training. So what I'm trying to say here, it is pertinent that we just don't take the parents into confidence in the whole learning process, but also we are capable of bringing the whole community itself into the learning process. How do we do it is an important question, I think. And I really understand the administrator's dilemma, but from the perspective of an educationist or a trainer, I saw that this was actually an opportunity for me to see how this particular thing of a particular topic could be extended to involve the whole community itself. So making parents really feel that I'm genuinely interested in your child's life is a very, very critical aspect. Because as I mentioned in the morning to you, this is a triangle. There is an agent who causes education, that is the teacher. The education that you are giving is being used by the end user, that is the student, and there is a customer. The customer is the parent, end user is the child, and the agent who causes the teaching, education is the teacher. This triangular love relationship should be intact. It should be equilateral, it should be equidistant. Probably it appears very theoretical, but really this is something that I really tried about around 10 years ago. And that's something that I also presented in one of the educational conferences. So
thanks, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, we are running out of time, so can we extend it by another 10 minutes? Are you guys okay with it? Hello, everybody else?
Yes, sir.
Sure, thank you. You know what, one of the things which I think can go a long way with what teachers want is somewhere what we call discover the me in the teacher. So somewhere I find that schools are not really investing enough into developing the me in the teacher. That means what I'm talking about is the individual in the teacher. Is there any way we can work around that? Well, that's going to go a long way in getting the teacher to be what she is. Yeah. Lovely ma'am, you can start. Anybody can start. It's okay with me.
Because I was, I had created the momentum. I'll just add one point here. Discovering the teacher in me probably is the most important thing here.
No, discover the me in the teacher.
Exactly. Discovering the me in the teacher probably is the most critical aspect of the whole conversation, I believe, right now. Centering the whole conversation around the teacher, which we have been doing right now, let us bring in the conversation of what it means by discovering the me in me. I call this as worldview. What I teach in the classroom is precisely my worldview. Whether I'm teaching digestion, or I'm teaching reproduction, or I'm teaching Hitler, whatever I'm teaching, my worldview is an important aspect of what, how, and the way I teach. And many a time, what I teach is just a prolongation of the conditioning that I have been a part of since my childhood. So the discovering the me in me is probably the exploration, a philosophical exploration of the conditionings that really is me right now. And that really brings out, liberates the whole classroom itself, according to me. And this is a very critical thing. Yeah,
thank you. Lovely ma'am, how can we together help the teacher discover the me in the teacher? Lovely ma'am, all yours. Lovely ma'am, are you there? Okay, could we have...
yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me, Bala?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
See, my biggest thing is...
To answer that question first.
Sure. The question is, how do we work on rediscovering the me in the teacher?
Carry on? I'm having a lot of technical problems today.
How do we help the teacher discover the me in the teacher? Can you hear me?
Yes. So for that, I would like to say that, first of all, a teacher needs to get the opportunity to discover herself. And for that, we need to create certain, like a support system for the teacher, right? Yeah. If a teacher is constantly not getting the right support from the organization, from the parents, from the peers, she's always stressed out. She cannot give her best. She cannot really find that me in herself, right? So if we give her this support, the organization supports her, she gets the respect of the parent community, of the children, and very peer support and from the family. When she knows that whatever work she's doing is being accepted by everybody, is being recognized, she will definitely get some time for herself, and she'll be comfortable. She'll find a comfortable zone for herself where she can develop her interest in other things also, and she can give her best. She can work towards developing herself as a teacher, as an individual. And
shouldn't the school also help her discover?
Yes, herself? Definitely. The school can do this by, they can organize for programs where the teachers can, participate and learn new things, upgrade their skills. There are a lot of things that the teachers are interested in to learn beyond just the academic part of it. And that is where the school steps in and arranges for these kind of programs where the teachers can actually learn something different, do something different. Okay, so I think the organization plays definitely an important role out here.
Samara ma'am, what's your take on discovering the me in the teacher?
So, as we always, we do speak about, empowering in different contexts, whereas you say, okay, empower children, empower families. So when I come back to this, in order to rediscover that me within the teacher, to, highlight the personality within, empowering them through a simple program like something what we do where we do train the trainers, so it is not a process where either the principal or me as the director will come and sit down and you all teachers are always listening. But no, today you choose your topic and you come forward and constantly giving them that platform that come forward and confidently address the rest of the group. We all are going to learn from you. So a constant empowerment given to the teachers where they are involved. And also another thing wherein, as gladly today's scenario is such that, curriculums have become very progressive. Now teachers don't have to just cut, copy, paste and follow what is given in the curriculum. but they are respectfully given the freedom that when they enter the classroom, given that they achieve the goal or the objective of the framework of the curriculum, that empowerment and respect and faith that, yes, I know you will drive the curriculum confidently, and allowing them and giving them that room to explore their creativity. So they again feel that ownership, my classroom, my children, and this is our journey together. So I feel a whole lot of empowerment given to them rather than all the time giving do's and don'ts. A lot of employees allow enter each other, on small given occasions when you have experienced teachers who have been with you for many years. So, we also kind of give them a role of mentoring that, okay, now we are there, but you also play that role. So constant empowerment and giving them that ownership and recognition within your organization definitely will help them introduce, recognize the me within themselves.
Thank you. Hazra ma'am?
Yes.
We're all discussing about empowerment, and everything we're talking about discovering me is all, around the school itself, around the classroom, around things. But to perform well as a teacher, I think I need to have a lot of other knowledge. I need to be good in a lot of things. Could be art, science, whatever, apart from the school curriculum. As an individual, what do I know? Do I read books? Am I artist? Am I dancer? Whatever. But what are the personal things that we need to encourage amongst teachers? Or how do we tell them, listen, you need to know something beyond curriculum to be good in curriculum? You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
Ultimately, the discovering me is who you are internally. It is nothing to do with curriculum. But what you know as an individual.
Giving them the creative freedom to do.
What I feel, first of all, I just would like to add in that teachers, when we are talking about discovering ourselves, that was just only one point. Oh, there's some technical issue, I feel. You can hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So we really need to do an aptitude test, actually. When we take an aptitude kind of a test for any person who wants to become a teacher, we do understand that what are the skills and competencies of that person, because maybe I have done my MA in economics, but I might not be a very good teacher teaching economics after doing my B.Ed also. But if I take my aptitude test and understand my interest, and these interests is like, as a teacher, what are the other things that I can develop for myself if I am interested in a particular area. Then when you do your history, you start teaching your sciences, social sciences, because that's what your skills and competencies and your aptitudes are looking at. But being a teacher doesn't mean that you need to be really 100 on your IQ, or maybe, you need to know the current affairs, left, right, center. You're not appearing for a UPSC exam as of now. As a teacher, what I need right now is compassion. I need to understand that I have children. What kind of audience is that I am catering to? So the skill, or maybe my interest as a preschool teacher would be way different. I need to understand what's going on around the world as per my 3 to 6 years old. As a primary teacher, I need to understand that how can I develop my children from age group of 5 to 10. I might be a good reader. I need to explore different sides. Today, I might not like reading much, but I like movies. So I can look at movies. So it's not like you need to know the curriculum left, right, center. You need to know the content. And it's okay if I can tell the teachers who are listening to me, it's okay if you don't know certain answers. You can still Google and come back to the classroom, because students have to be more smarter than us someday. So if they're asking you some questions, you need to be confident, and you need to be happy that the students are asking me something which I myself need to explore as well. So you can go back home, explore that, and we need to understand that we are human beings also, apart from the curriculum. Certain things which we need to do to, enhance professionalism in us, maybe making better lesson plans, upgrading ourselves right now. So this can enhance me. If I'm getting upgraded in terms of technology, it will help me today in online teaching, because the whole traditional method of chalk and talk was going on, and it was going on till date. Only since the lockdown period have we really taken up this digital learning seriously, and all of us in some manner or the other have started doing this digital thing. So our lesson plan right now cannot be a technique where we are writing down things. It has to be planned. The flow chart has to be ready according to the digital planning that we're going to take. So if as a teacher, my curriculum content, I'm going to teach parts of plan today. But how do I teach it is up to my technology. So if I learn technology in terms of professional upgradation of myself also, it will help me in delivering these lessons or implementing it in my classrooms. Apart from that, I feel basic values like, mental peace. This peace that we have is very basic. I need to be it's a very basic, you cannot say that it's like water, it's like having water, taking your bath or eating your food. If there is no peace in your brain, you cannot be a happy person. So this essential value has to be incorporated in us on a daily basis, and this has to be given to the students right now, because life has been a rat race since the lockdown period. After the lockdown period, now we are realizing also that things can be a little slow. Things can be much mature than what we were thinking earlier prior to this. So as a person, I need to discover myself first, and then I can take up teaching as a professional in an enhanced manner.
That's perfect. Can we have, see, you came to the mental peace, and that brings me to the last section of my subject of, the mental health. Yeah. A lot of people today are possibly going through a lot of, issues regarding mental health. So what's your advice to these teachers? And what are you doing about it? We'll begin with Mrs.Lovely. You not there? Hazra ma'am, come back again, please.
Yes, sir.
Mental health.
Yes.
What are you doing about it, and what's your advice to the teachers out there?
See, right now, what we do in our school, particularly at Indore, the school's name is World Peace School. So what we do right now is the kind of assembly that we have for children is the assembly that we have for our teachers also before we begin the school. Because like mothers, they are coming from a house where they are cooking, they're preparing things, they're getting ready for the whole day at home, and then they're coming to my school. So first we need to be really composed and calm at ourselves. So we have a small kind of an assembly where we interact with each other, we do our meditation, we do a little yoga practices, and then start our day. And it is really refreshing. And at that point of time, if somebody is going through some issue or health issue and they seek support from us, like, today I might not take my 8 classes or 7 classes. If somebody can help me out, we do that. And she's peaceful since the beginning of the period itself, that I don't have to rush. I can still be peaceful and rest. We have a resting room for our teachers also, that when they feel that they can't really, because the kind of pressure it happens, especially with primary graders, when you're mother teacher, you're expected to teach all the subjects. Some days you can't be in the classroom for 6 hours or 5 hours, and you really need to come back to a place where you can. So we have a resting kind of a place also in the school set up, especially for the teachers or anybody who wants to take a break and they don't have that break. So they tell us in the morning, we have this little talk, all of us, including me, my teachers, and then we start our day, and it's really peaceful. We start with this thing, and then we have our students coming in, they walk in the school, and we start with the school assembly.
Samara ma'am, what's your advice to people who think they're having some issues, who feel that they're not ready or they're not feeling good? What's your advice to them?
You mean when you say not ready, you mean in this given scenario where
I know I'm going through an issue. I am feeling lousy, yes, or I'm feeling depressed, or I'm depressed, or whatever. They don't know what to do after that.
Yes,
especially just story. They're either guilty or. What's your advice to them?
I've realized over a period of time that the best thing is, firstly, when you're feeling like that, first just physically stimulate yourself a little. It would even mean, I know I'm giving a very simple, basic PE tip over here, and this is for anyone, any age. No matter how you're feeling at a given point of time, if you just stand up, just do even 20 jumping jacks, like the simple, the PE exercise that we tell children to do, like, jump like that. Firstly, it will release the right hormones in your brain where you will start feeling good. Because that little elevation, you need to first feel at a physical level. And then after that, see, we all are adults. We all should have at least one comrade, one friend, somebody whom you can really confide in, someone whom you can call. It could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be your best friend. But you have to talk with someone about it, because, only when we speak, we actually realize that, oh, even she or he faced this situation at some given point of time. But in order to come into the right frame of mind, like, Hazra shared that simple practices, I've even seen just doing 5 breaths, just an inhale and exhale, and just standing up and just getting to terms with your physical body first. If you can get to terms with feeling better physically at that given moment, then you're not in a fight or flight situation. Then it's like, okay, now chalo, what next? And then you start thinking, and then you realize that, okay, actually it's not such a big deal. It's like when an aeroplane is taking off, when we go slightly higher, we can still see the whole city. Then you go a little higher, you can see the clouds. And when you go right up, you realize that actually there's nothing visible. So I think that in any given situation, whether it's lockdown, post-lockdown, in life in general, that, you know, we need to slowly first understand that if I don't have my oxygen mask on and I'm not breathing right, I surely cannot be of any use to anybody else. So in any given situation, first stand up, get hold of yourself, breathe, get your physical body into a state of coping with the situation. And then your mental health and your mental body will cope with you in order to take the steps that follow. Yeah, I think Lovely wants to share something.
Yeah, actually the screen has been conking off and on. Yeah, network issues. So before I conk off again, I just want to add this, that, you know, in our school, we make it points that when we are training the teachers, the annual in-house training we have at the beginning of the session, we pay for yoga, and we have excellent yoga teachers, and we encourage the teachers to bring their mats. We provide them with whatever mats we have in the school, and we teach them certain easy things that they can do at home whenever they feel stressed out, because we know the mental health of the teacher is really, really important, because they are working, like, you know, they're thinking on 360 degrees with
Any
so
advice
much
to the
do, so
teachers?
much to handle. And teachers nowadays are not just teachers. They have to handle so many other things, the facilitators, right? So the pressure is quite a lot. So I think that is a technique that gives them time to learn some yoga, to practice some yoga sessions, and organize something for them where they can let their hair down and enjoy themselves, and look at the school also like you know, the school family as a part.
Okay, I think Lovely ma'am's system is still off again. It's only 1.5 hours, 90 minutes session, and people are have to go for other meetings. Thank you all for being there.
Thank you.
But with all the speakers and some participants, can we connect again and take things forward?
Yes.
Can we do things which we can all get together and see what small changes and difference we can bring about?
Yes, yes, surely.
Huh? Thanks, Samara ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hazra ma'am, let's connect again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
And,
thank you. Thank you,
let's see what we
everybody.
can do.
It was lovely interacting with
Thanks
you.
for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Yes,
this can go on
yes.
and on, and lots to say, lots to speak.
Yes, good luck and best wishes to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Lovely ma'am, are you okay now? No, she's still off. Chrysantha ma'am,
Yes, sir.
thanks for, she's also not there.
Thank you.
Chrysantha ma'am, where are you?
Sorry?
How's Pune?
Yes, sir.
How's Pune?
Yes, I can hear it in bits and pieces.
I know. But it's a scary thought there. Did you enjoy the evening?
Yes, sir.
Chrysantha?
A lot of information.
Was it worth it? Yeah, we'll do some more. Let's all get together and see what we can do.
Sure, sir.
And let's see how things go further.
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yes, thank you. Thanks
a
a lot.
lot. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.